Alright, what is up guys? Aiden here. I'm gonna give you a quick tutorial on how to do the basics of editing, specifically in After Effects. This is basically just for Pat because he doesn't know how to edit, and I'm just gonna make a short video for him. So first of all, you wanna have the files that you wanna render or piece together like this. I'm just gonna select these ones, and we're gonna open After Effects and get ready to edit. Alright, first off, I'm going to give you a little rundown about how things work in this. So this thing here, this is your project thing. What this has is that you put your footage in here, and then you can make compositions where you just put all your files. So what you're going to do is you take the folder, drag this shit in, give it a sec, let it import. Come on. Alright, so we got the footage. Then what you got to do, you got to go through all these and conform to 60 frames a second. That's because when you record game footage, it normally has that as an average frame rate, because a lot of stuff when recording has some frame drops. After Effects otherwise will give you a warning that you have like this error with overflowing ratios. That basically means it just can't handle this shit. So we got to change it so that After Effects will play nice. Alright, once you got all the stuff, then you need to select it, and we're going to just drag it into this composition icon here. What this does is that it creates a sort of working environment. We're going to have sequence the layers, so that means that when we do these end to end, it's going to piece together nicely, and we're going to have a nice sequence. Although, fun little fact, if you're working with shadow play... Oh, no, this... Fun fact, well, when you're working with Bandicam, then... I was trying a trial for that when we were recording this, and basically what that does is that the file names are labeled in a way that After Effects sees them in the opposite order. So we have the beginning footage here and the later footage there, so we basically just have to reorganize things. Alright, so keyboard shortcuts. Pressing I brings this shit to the beginning of your selected. Pressing I brings it your little marker here, your slider on the timeline, brings it to the beginning of the footage that you have selected. And then pressing O does the opposite, it brings it to the end point. But we want to move it around. By that we use the open bracket, square brackets, and close square brackets to bring the beginning or the end of the clip that you selected to where the slider is. And then using this we can press O, go to the end of that, open square bracket, bring it to the end, bring that to the end, move to the end, bring to the end. Actually, we don't need that. That's a tiny piece of footage. Bring that to the end, go to the end, bring that to the end, go to the end, bring that to the end. So as you can see, once you got the rhythm going, it's pretty easy. Now, what you probably want to do, especially if you have like a mic track underneath or maybe some music, you're just gonna select all this shit and hit Command-Shift-C. What this is going to do is it's going to put everything in a new composition, so you can treat it as one big file. Now all you have to do is that you need to just cut the clip together. You do this doing D, and while you have your little marker over wherever on your selected piece. What this does is that it splits it into two separate clips, which is nice if you want to cut things together and delete it like that. But we're not going to do that for this thing. I'm just doing this to show you guys. If you go into the comp, like double-clicking, you're going to go return to these, and this is where you start to do some of the editing things. For example, if you have audio, if you want to boost it or something, you can use the audio levels here. This is boosted by decibels, so you only need to boost it by a little bit. You also have these neat little things here called the stopwatch, called keyframes, where it basically creates these paths and automations for it to follow. For example, I'm just going to create 4 things here. And basically these are checkpoints that tell the program when each setting should be at what value. So here we got the normal value. Here, if you want to maybe like boost the game volume or something, or the mic volume, you can also drag it up to 12. Move to the next one using these arrows. Drag that up to 12 as well. And then that one's back to 0. So basically during this point and that point, the audio is going to increase from, or the boost is going to increase from 0 decibels to 12. You're going to stay at 12, and then between there and there it's going to decrease to 0. So it's a really handy thing if you want to automate things. It also works with basically any single variable in setting, or filter, or effect, or anything in After Effects, which is great. Alright, so once you have that shit done, that's basically all you need to do. You just need to go up to composition, make movie, and this is how we're going to render everything. So we're going to have best settings, use the composition frame rate. If you want to do like a test render or something, you make the quality maybe like draft, or the resolution, you can put it to quarter, or you can use a different frame rate. Here we're going to use, this is our preferred thing, we use H.264. Format options, we use around 20 megabits per second because it gives us a nice quality with a nice file size. Audio output, I always forget this thing, and then I end up having rendered for like 5 hours, and then all I have is a piece of footage with no audio on it, and then I have to do it all again, which is a bitch. Then this bit here, output 4, that's where you decide where you want to put the things. You can also like make a name for it, stuff like that, and then save it. And then you just have to hit render. If you need to stop it completely, hit stop. But you should note that it's going to have if you stop halfway through render, it's going to have a queue thing here for the other half of the render, which can get kind of annoying if you just accidentally hit render and then it does more work than you should. You can also just pause it at any time, but you can't change anything. Well, that just about does it. That was a super speed rundown of how we're supposed to do things here. Hopefully this was helpful, at least to Pat. If it was for you guys, that's also really cool. That's the whole reason I sort of made this video and put it on YouTube. Anyway, hope you guys like it. See you next time.